Welcome back to the MVM Show. Me and Travis are here today to talk about some good stuff.
It's that time of year, man. I'm so excited.
I know. We have extra reasons why we're a little more excited right now. That is yet to be seen. You'll see that soon. You'll understand what that means here in a little bit. But
I guess I got to tell you something right now. So we're going to talk about what we did this last weekend. Mm-hmm. And I said I would never do this, but I got home and I had left my waders in my truck. I just leave them in there.
Inside?
Inside my truck.
Okay.
In the back.
Locked?
Back. Well, here's the story.
Oh, no.
So,
mind you, these are Sitka waders, everybody listening.
So anyways, me and Tal, we kind of go back and forth, and he's been gone in Wyoming for the past, 2 or 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. He's fixing to leave Saturday. And Talon, sometimes he'll leave stuff, he gets done with it, he just leaves it in the truck. So I'll take it and I'll hide it, and not say anything. So today, So today I come in there and I was fixing to come over here and looked in the back of the truck because I was like, I got to take my waders out. I left them in there since Saturday. And they're not in there.
Today you did that? You left them in there the whole weekend?
Yeah.
What if someone would have broke in and stole those, dude?
They can't really see them. Oh my goodness. Anyways, so of course, Talon goes there and he's like, no, I haven't seen him, whatever. I didn't touch him.
Oh, dude.
And he hit him, of course, so I wanted to sock him,
Be honest, how much were you panicking?
No, I knew what happened, but then when he's like acting a certain way, you're like, okay, what if this happened, And somebody did just happen to see him.
So you figured he hit him?
Well, of course, yeah. Well, I mean, what goes around comes around, right?
But you did start second guessing.
Huh?
You did start second guessing.
You have that moment of sheer panic when you're like, what if that really did happen and I had to replace these things? Which I would be replacing them anytime soon, probably. So
how sick would you be?
I'd be pretty upset.
Thomas reminded me in that one video we did, the duck hunting loadout, about losing that whole bag of decoys. I completely forgot about that. It broke my heart so much, I guess I just completely forgot about it. Until you remind me. Brand new decoys, which is nowhere near, obviously, what your waders were. But
no, but still, I mean,
it was a rig and right, brand new bag. First time used it.
Brand new, that's $100 right there.
Full,
plus your waders.
2 dozen
your waders, your decoys.
New decoys. Widgeon, and it was all Widgeon and all Gadwall decoys. Somehow they flew out of the back of the truck on the way home.
Somebody
was
really happy, man. Somebody's really happy.
I don't know why I didn't, but I should have probably put something on YouTube and mention it in one of the videos, say, hey, if you guys found it, which I wouldn't expect them to actually.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Honestly, it could still be, wherever it fell out, it could still be laying there. Honestly. Yeah. It was a stormy night, raining all the way home. I don't know. Either someone stole out of the back of my truck or it flew out because of the storm and the wind.
Yeah. I don't know. One day I was driving home from hunting and I seen a whole ice chest, man, scattered all over the road.
On the side of the road?
Yeah. And that's heavier than a bag full of decoys. And there was ducks laying all over the road and everything. I don't know if he had stuck in the ice chest, but yeah, just birds in the road, stuff all in the road. So I was like, oh, somebody's going to be upset when they get home. Look in the back. Yeah.
Well, today, you guys, we want to talk a little bit about our hunt. So you guys know we're going to do a hunt review every time we at least try do our best. Because, you can only fit so much in the video, and hopefully you guys enjoy these. I don't want to be just wasting your airspace, but we hunted on the river. If you watch our channel, a part of this is because I don't really know how many people that listen to this actually watch the channel. So that's kind of a part of a reason, too, just to give our weekly or hunt day updates. But me and Travis went out to our river that's close to home and took the kayaks out, we took the the Old Town, which is the brand, Old Town Canoes and Kayaks, Old Town Kayak. It's actually a hybrid. They call it and it is similar to kayak or a canoe, is it not? The way it's a little bit tipsy.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it has a feel of a canoe.
It has the feel of a canoe. Mm-hmm. Superior tracking over a kayak.
Oh yeah.
The kayaks that I've been in. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's more like a canoe than a kayak. Mm-hmm. But
in which way?
I think just the feel of it, like the motion of it. But I wasn't as nervous in it as I've been in a canoe hunting.
Oh, really?
A canoe, yeah. And I've hunted out of a canoe somewhat.
Dude, so the video's already out, so I'm not breaking any by the time this is heard, the video's already out, so I'm not breaking any secrets or anything.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard editing that video when you finished them off and you shot left-handed.
Oh man.
You wait till you see it. It's so funny, dude. You literally almost flipped back out of that thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. But
let's go. Okay, so we used the Old Town Discovery 119 Solo Sportsman. That's the name of it. Really great, really, really great kayak hybrid. That's what they actually call it, is a canoe kayak hybrid.
Okay.
And it is. If you take a canoe and a kayak, do not agree, and put them together. Enmeshed it. That's pretty much what you got.
That's what you get.
Because it has a little bit, I don't know how to explain it because I don't want to be negative towards them. It has more wobbleness like a canoe. But the funny thing is what you can do in that, I have been in waist deep to chest deep water, chest deep. And I could jump, it has enough stability to where I can actually jump in it. And there's really no kayak I've ever had that you could do that to. Because it will lean all the way to where you think it's gonna flip, but it stays.
But it doesn't flip.
And I can get in. Ask Thomas; he's seen me do it. The only reason I even knew that is because Jordan from Duck Gun Chronicles.
Yeah,
I seen him do that in his video. I'm like, he's bigger than me. I can't believe he was able to do that. And I tried it and I did it.
Yeah.
And so that's good about it. And like Travis said, the tracking, and then the water it treads is only like 4 to 5 inches.
Yeah, that was one thing
we're
that
big boys.
me.
I'm 220.
Yeah.
Travis is whatever.
Yeah.
A little, maybe
I'm a little bit more than 220.
Okay, and I would look at the side of your kayak, and it looked like only 4 to 5 inches.
I noticed that with yours too. Yeah.
And we had our guns in that. I mean, we didn't have a lot of gear with us, but
and one thing too about the Old Town is that the seating in there is not like a canoe. A canoe usually has benches in there. Where this has a kayak
very comfortable
seat in it. It has the
adjustable back,
adjustable leg things, just like a kayak does.
Quick adjust.
Yeah,
it's really just.
And
quick.
I did like the seat thing where you just pull that cord and it moves it up or whatever. That was a nice feature. Yeah. I think they did a really good job designing that. That was the first time I ever used it. So
I will admit we both got sore, but that's not because of the kayak.
I think it's just not being in that position and not
your low back was burning and my low tailbone was killing me. But it's just because I guarantee you go out there 2 more times and you're gonna feel it would. It's always like that. I remember going in the kayak a couple years ago and it just does that first couple times.
And the life vest they had was really light. That worked.
Very nice.
Well, and you could shoot out of it, not like a traditional.
Because the padding device was lower on your stomach.
Yeah, and your shoulder was good, and it wasn't so big and bulky like a regular life vest can be bulky and. Yeah, it was easy to shoot with that thing on. I didn't even realize
I didn't either.
There.
I didn't either. So I guess let's just start. We got a little bit of time. Let's talk about just kind of how it came together. So I'm on night shifts this week with my job, and so it's 7 at night, 7 in the morning, and I knew the early Goose opener was opening up here in our zone, which is Balance of the State zone. And I knew it was opening up from the October 3rd to the 7th. And the limit for Canada geese here is 10 for dark geese. And anyways, we were not able to hunt. If you guys remember, those of you that do watch the channel, we still had permission. Thomas was pretty sure we're going to have permission at that place that we hunted, where you guys seen that video where we were in the cornfield. But there was no geese in it. They had only cut it like 4 or 5 days ago, so I don't think it had as much time to dry out and let the geese see it and start feeding in it. So we're kind of all bummed out, and I thought to myself, man, I got to do something. I want to get out there and hunt. I do want to do a video and everything. And I was like, I'm going to go down the river. I always see geese crossing over. I could always have a shot down there. Pretty much every time I went down, I've had 1 or 2 opportunities.
At geese.
And Thomas didn't want to go down the river, and I called you. And you're like, yeah, let's go.
I was kind of hesitant too.
I know.
My last time on the
river. Is that why you were hesitant?
Yeah, just because of, like we always talk about, we've talked about before, the river's hungry. And inevitably, every time I've been down there, myself or somebody else with me loses something of value. And the last time I went, I actually lost a complete kayak, believe it or not. And it's a long story. But I lost a whole kayak. And I don't know what happened to the thing.
Well, just give a brief 1 minute.
The river was up. We were going to go fishing. It was hooking.
Guys,
I was ahead.
Flying.
And
we were fishing, right? Not duck hunting.
Yeah, and the river actually forked.
It was rushing.
And I was deciding to go the right, left, and basically just sweep me down to the right. There was trees overhanging the thing. And so I flipped out of the canoe on purpose because I didn't want to go through those trees. And the river was running so fast, I didn't want to get trapped up against them. It sucked the kayak out underneath a tree. It took me about 20 minutes to dislodge it. And when I did, it shot out in front of me. I jumped in the
kayak did?
Yeah. It was
How
wedged.
did we not find it then?
No, it was wedged underneath the tree. And,
Right.
and you and Talon went to the left.
Okay.
And I kept working, trying to get the thing out because it was wedged underneath the tree because the water was just forcing it underneath there. And finally, I wedged it free and it shot out. Actually shot out from the thing. I jumped in the water after it, and I wasn't catching up to it because it was just moving.
Right.
And I seen these other tree limbs hanging over the river, and I was like, well, if that kayak got pinned in there, I got a life vest on, but if water has such tremendous force, if I got trapped underneath one of those trees and couldn't get my head above water, I'm going to drown. And so that's why I got out of the water. I was like, I'll get the kayak down the thing when I'll go look for it. But long story short, we never did find it. And I don't know what happened to it. I think it got wedged underneath one of those other trees and
So
see
you
it.
seen it going down river?
Oh, I seen it going down the river ahead of me for
And
about
you never
20 seconds, and then I got out of the river because I seen all these limbs hanging over, and I was like, I'm not getting trapped under those. And I think maybe it got trapped in there because it kind of calmed out a little bit. It was still deep, but we never seen it again. And I had to walk 2 miles?
Yeah.
Back to the truck.
It was. I can't
ripping.
lie. It was fun, but it wasn't something you want to be carrying anything with you besides yourself.
No.
With the life jacket, and we didn't. I don't
I
think
lost
we
my
even had
fishing pole. Lost my krill.
I flipped too. Talon flipped, I think.
Talon flipped.
It was flying.
It was hooking.
It was white.
Yeah.
It was
It was
almost
hooking.
white water
It
rafting.
was hooking. So I was hesitant to go down there this time, but I knew that we hadn't had much
The water was a
rainfall,
lot lower.
and they probably weren't letting a lot of water out of the lakes. So I figured it'd be at a lower point, and it was. So yeah.
So we started off going down, and it was cool. We seen some river otters. It's always
Some otters.
you never know what you're gonna see down there.
No, you don't. You always see
Literally
something
every time we
unique.
go down there,
Yeah.
and if people know where we live, you don't really expect the stuff you see to be where you're at. You feel like you're in another
Yeah, with everything that we have around here,
very urbanized, or what's the word?
it's kind of
I mean, it's farm ground.
it's farm. There's a lot of farmland. There's some foothills, but we also have our neighborhoods and
yeah, like I guess I'm talking about real tight right here.
yeah.
But like you said, this is ag country.
But when
for
you get on the
sure.
river, it's lined with trees, and you feel like you're somewhere else besides where we live.
We go down there. We've seen some river otters. You see all kinds of stuff. What are those white? Those cranes?
See herons.
The herons.
Yeah.
Blue heron
Egrets.
too. There wasn't that a blue heron?
Yeah, like a greater blue heron.
Yeah. Yeah. What else did we see before
We've seen some woodies.
Yeah, we've seen several wood ducks.
Yeah.
And anyways, we get down there, and we're going down the river. I actually almost flipped right at the beginning. That little narrow spot I went through.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna get caught.
I got out right there.
I know. I would, because I was gonna try to go the right where it was wide.
Yeah.
But the current sucked me so fast, I had to commit to it. It was too late to get out, or I would have got wet. And I was like, I ain't getting wet. And not that it was cold, but I just didn't want to. And I got through fine and everything. But once we got through that and got down to where I knew that the private pond was that those honkers always go into, and I told you about that. I said, you know what? I'm hoping we can just get some crossing into there. I knew it was gonna be a pass shoot. No, bottom line, there's no way you're gonna make those honkers come right down the river when you got a big pond they've been going to their whole life, full of
And there's other birds.
birds and geese and ducks and everything else, and nobody messed with them. So we're kind of stalling around right here where we know that pond's at. I'm like, it's right on the other side of this, and we're still in public, land in the river. And we're stalling around, and I'm like, man, I think we should just keep going. Then I was like, you know what? Maybe we'll stall for a little bit. And as soon as I said that, those two come down how many yards? 150, 200 yards down.
Yeah, they were out of range, but they were heading to
yeah.
that pond. So
Yeah, and they come right in there. And we're like, oh, let's go down there. So we paddled back up.
And then we had two more, I think, came in.
Well, we got on the island.
Yeah.
And like, let's just wait here. And then two more come down farther down. And we're like, we waited for 20 minutes thinking we could pop them. And maybe if we would have stayed longer, I don't know, maybe we would have. But it was just like, let's just go.
Yeah, exactly.
So those two came down farther where we were already at. So we're like, let's just hit the river bend, start going back down. Just enjoying the scenery and stuff,
It was nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was enjoyable. It really wasn't hard work at all. I mean, but like you said, your back was a little sore.
Yeah.
My tailbone was getting a little sore right at the end. But in all reality, I've done river trips where you're just like, every pass stroke is just like, you're done.
No, and those things went really smooth through the water. And more like a canoe than a kayak,
Mm-hmm.
and they tracked really well. But you could go much faster in that thing than you can in a kayak. I think.
Like if you would look to the side of the bank, you're like, wow, I'm moving pretty good. And then we get down there, and it's so funny because watching the video versus what you think happens sometimes is different. Like, and just your reaction. You see, my phone's ringing. I don't know where I even put it. Oh, it's over there. Right. Well, your hearing's definitely better than me. I don't know if mine's just blown out from flying helicopters. Because you shoot, and we're terrible at wearing hearing protection, guys. I hate to admit that, I really do. It's really not good at all that we do that. But have you ever really worn ear protection?
Not in my whole life.
I feel so many people just frown on that so bad, and it is terrible. Really, one of these days we're not going to be able to hear nothing. But you do hear better than me. But I've played the drums. I've flown helicopters, which is a high frequency, the military, and then the hunting. But so your hearing is better. I could just tell because I seen your head whip like this in the video, and I could hear it in the video. But for some reason, I couldn't hear it.
You couldn't hear him.
And then the second time they honked, I whip my head, and the camera whips over, and you.
It almost sounds like there's a different sound when they're flying versus when they're on the water.
Yeah, there is.
And I heard that sound. I was like, those birds are in the air.
Yeah. Your head whips around, and you're messing with your paddle, and then you're like looking up. You're watching my expression.
Yeah, because I was in a position.
Yeah, you were facing away.
I was facing away, and
I was
knew there was
sideways.
no way, as from what I heard with my ears, like I'm not gonna get this thing spun around to get in position to even shoot in time. So I'm like, you know what? Titus is in position. He'll see him. He'll get some, and maybe I'll get a shot off.
Yeah, well, I was set up so perfect. I spun around just like that. I mean, I just went boom with the paddle, and it flipped me like this. All of a sudden, I knew they were coming, but I was like, okay, how high are they going to be?
Yeah.
I saw the first group through the trees. I was like, oh, they're low. I go, here we go,
I think
Travis.
you even said that. They're low or something.
I go, here
like
we go,
that.
Travis. They're low. Let's get them, son. Or I say something like that.
And I'm like, okay, I'm not positioned. Okay, I'm just going to.
I don't know. You
clean up.
Dude. And I raise up, and honestly, I hate that. I've always done this with honkers. They're so big, you're almost overconfident. I've missed geese on that river several times.
Really?
That were lower than that. Because they're so big, you think you're gonna hit them so easy. I remember when we did that cornfield hunt, we said, guys, focus, pick. Remember, we kept telling ourselves, we kept talking to each other saying, aim. Which actually, if you watch my shot cam, I did really take a good aim, dude. And I was lined up so perfectly, like say if they're flying like this, it wasn't like, I didn't aim high, which that sight's actually helping me with that. I was dead leading them. Mm-hmm. I shot in front of them, both of them. I didn't tell you that yet.
You were ahead of them.
I was shot ahead of them, both of them.
Really?
And I did a little learning lesson on the video talking about shooting ahead, because most people shoot behind, right? That's just always what happens. You actually made an incredible shot. Your shot, and you had a modified choke, right?
Modified. Yeah.
I had a full
shooting an old 870.
Yeah, you could see it all hit in my shot cam. You could see it hit his whole head and neck and body, and feathers just go.
Well, I was going to tell you something. I'll tell you a little bit later.
Okay,
but yeah, go ahead.
Well, we don't have to limit this to 3 minutes because I don't think we'll finish it. But so I'll try to hurry up. So, both patterns were so tight. Still, I'm not.
You're
lying,
shooting full.
Yeah, Travis, I'm not lying when I say if I would have aimed 2 more inches to the right. I mean, it literally, I guarantee you babies were hitting that thing in the bill, dude. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, 2 more inches closer to him instead of lead him, I would have blown his head off. Like, it would have, I'm telling you, the pattern was like this.
Oh, I believe it.
Dense. Like,
I believe it.
I would say it was probably, maybe by the time it got to him, it was probably the big,
pie
like,
pan.
2-3 times as a pie pan. I think it was bigger than that, but, you know, big old pizza, like maybe a large pizza.
Yeah.
But, dude, I was like, both shots. And I even called it in the video.
So you actually shot twice.
I shot twice.
Okay.
Because the second shot, when I shot, I almost flipped backwards out of the kayak. Because I was leaned back a little bit. And when I shot, the momentum rocked me so bad in that kayak. Because instead of being lined up with the kayak where the motion's going this way.
So was your first shot where you like basically centered dead on them? You know what I'm saying? Where you're not going side to side with your first shot?
Yeah, I had a good.
So the motion would have pushed you backwards and not to the side.
Exactly.
With the kayak.
Yeah, exactly. Which wouldn't throw you off whack.
Yes.
The second one, that's why I couldn't take a third shot. Because I almost fell out. They were close enough to take a third shot. But I literally, you can see it in the shotgun when I shoot that second one. And the camera, it goes like straight up. I almost
And that's what happened with me.
I wouldn't have probably went out,
Yeah.
but it felt like I was going to.
And that's what happened with me, that I was, faced the other way. And of course you pull up and you're shooting, and I see the left side, the edge of the geese. And so I pull up, and I didn't have a big lead on mine. I'm shooting modified. I bet you I only led the front of that goose by a foot. I didn't have a big lead. Boom. I seen him, his wings went in, and he just looked like a hot
A dart,
diving,
yeah.
like a dart.
It
straight
does
down.
in the video too.
But what happened was, when I shot, I was kind of at an angle and sideways, and it rocked me backwards. And
I seen it. I think it's in the video.
and I was off balance.
yeah.
And I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't shoot another
only
shot.
took one shot, huh?
I took one shot because it knocked me so far off balance sideways. And I thought I was going to go out of the canoe. And then when I saw it fall, I was like, okay, I got one.
Yeah.
And I came down. And then I switched to the left hand, which I'm not used to shooting left-handed.
And again, you're sided.
And then I'm sideways, and then I'm turned a little bit, and boom, and like knocked me back. I'm like, oh, great. That'd be nice. Flip over backwards, shooting a goose in the water,
You make for great
And that
video.
water was, I think it was a little bit deeper right there. I don't know. But when I got home, I breasted the goose out, and I was amazed at the pattern that it did. That whole goose's both breasts were riddled with holes in them.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like enough where...
Okay, tell them what you're shooting. Tell them what we were shooting.
So we were shooting the bismuth, the Hevi Bismuth, 12 gauge, 3-inch number 4s. And I'm talking... And what's crazy is...
So great penetration.
Okay, here's the penetration. It's a goose, right? How high do you think they were?
How do you... okay, let me say what I think. See, 30?
25 to 30.
25 to 30. Okay, we're about the same.
And I took the breast, and because what I usually do is because of the coagulation of the blood when it hits them, I'll actually stick my finger in there and run my finger all the way through to knock that coagulation out of the breast. And every once in a while you'll find a BB. There was not a BB in the breast. They went all the way through the whole breast. And I'm wondering if they went out the backside. I almost checked and I didn't.
I can't believe you didn't tell me that already.
They penetrated all the way through the goose. There was not one
Holy
BB
cow.
in the goose.
That bird was dead then when he was on the water.
I mean, it literally blew through him like
Wow.
an arrow passed through.
Really?
And probably like each breast, there was probably 15 pellets in each breast.
Holes. Pellet
Yeah,
holes.
and I mean the breast is only like what,
Yeah, but
8 inches?
Well, I'm telling you on the shot cam, a majority of your pattern hit his head too,
Really?
Uh-huh.
There was BBs all through his breast. That goose wasn't going anywhere.
dude. So yeah, so when he hit the water like a lawn dart,
Yeah,
he wasn't going nowhere.
I thought he was stone cold, and pretty much he was dead. You know what I'm saying? They do that
Yeah,
little,
but he was kind of
that
spinning
little
in his
head
place.
bob.
Yeah,
where-
where they're just
yeah,
kinda like
yeah.
this.
I mean, he's pretty much dead. It's almost like nerves.
Dude, he probably was lunged and hard right through his heart and everything.
I mean,
No BBs in him.
no BBs in him. In the breast, because I feel in there, I feel where the holes are at, and I run.
And there's usually you always find steel.
Well,
in there.
like steel, you will. Yeah, you'll find every once in a while you'll find at least 1 or 2 BBs in there.
That's incredible for the amount of feathers on a goose that it has to go through.
density?
And then the density of the breast.
Yeah.
Because that being said, I never put the video out because the whole thing was blurry. It was so frustrating. But there was a guy when we went to Heavy Shot's headquarters in Sweet Home, Oregon. We went out there and Scott Turner, the Heavy Shot social media guy, and he does all the media stuff and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
He has a friend out there, and the guy has a ranch that they shoot pheasants and some other upland game birds.
Okay.
And he said he's shot bismuth for years, and I think he was shooting bismuth before it really came back and got a little bit more popular again when lead went away.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about steel when it goes into a pheasant. We'll have to watch this year. We'll have to try it out. He goes, steel when it goes into a pheasant, it will grab the feathers
And push the feather.
and
through.
push it into the breast, and it will be in there. So you're always having to pick feathers out.
There was no feathers in that geese's breast.
He said the same thing. He
Really?
said, I've never found one feather or pellet in a pheasant. And he goes, I think he uses 3-inch. I think he uses like 2 3/4 6 or something.
Yeah, that
Something
was
super
another thing
small.
I noticed, because a lot of times when I shoot ducks, there'll be feathers wedged in. The BB will push a feather into the breast. There was no feathers in this breast at all.
Just goes right through him like butter.
It went right through.
Just the density of it. It has to be the
I don't know.
density and the what's the word I'm looking for?
The kinetic energy.
Yeah, the
or
kinetic.
something.
That's what I was looking for. Kinetic energy. Wow.
Yeah, there was no
I
feathers in the
mean,
breast.
30 yards, 25, 30 yards.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. man.
it
With the modified choke.
I was amazed at the coverage of the bird. How many BBs were actually on target?
Wow.
And you're saying that in the video it looked like I hit it more in the head.
Yeah,
but the body was riddled.
Okay, as big as a goose is, how do you think from the tip of their bill to their tail feathers? How far is that?
2.5 foot maybe? Or further. It's pretty far.
Okay. How, with 25, 30 yards, your pattern it covered his, to me it looked like in the shot cam, it covered his whole body.
Yeah, and of course I didn't check its head or neck or anything like that.
I know, but
for BBs.
You were seeing his whole body jar and feathers come off his head all the way down to his tail feathers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, man, that it wasn't just like you could see one impact. It just seemed dense. I get it, guys. People are like, oh, you shoot a modified. Yeah, but it was dense for that big of a pattern.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And I didn't get that perspective either. I just know when I hit him, I knew he was going down because he just, like you said, like a lawn dart.
Yeah.
He didn't flutter. He didn't flap. He just literally like right into the water. So,
and if I remember right too, when you're shooting like bismuth or lead, I don't think you really want to use a full. I believe. Choke? I think you want to use more of an open.
Oh, okay.
Because it will hold its pattern better, I believe.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah. So you finished them off. We kept going down, and then
hey, we got one.
No, and what did I say?
I was happy with the one. It was just nice to get out, and be on the river.
It was,
and the basically the goose was a bonus to the trip. Mm-hmm. It was just nice to get out.
And I said that when we went. I said, if we get one, I'll be happy. And I didn't really care who got it.
Yeah, I didn't.
I should have had one. I should have had maybe two. Honestly, I could have easily had two.
Yeah.
If I would have shortened my lead, those both would have been dead in the water.
I was happy with one.
Yeah.
And I didn't flip out.
Yeah, exactly. I was so stoked for you. I was like, it's like that in hunting though. I think when you're younger, you're like, man, I wanted to kill something. But it's like last several years, it just feels like, oh, as long as we go out there, get something. I mean, I know I'm kind of making it sound like someone has to get something. It don't have to even be that way, but you want to get a little something for your efforts.
Yeah.
Even if it's
that's what we went for, is to get something. So I was happy that we got something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
That was a great hunt. If you guys want to check out that hunt, just be sure to go on YouTube, type in Mid Valley Mercenaries, and you can see it on there. It's episode number 3. That's kayak goose hunting on the river. 2020, and it was a good time. Really enjoyed being with Travis, and again, he's the one that got me originally to waterfowl hunting, and now I'm obsessed with it. Thank you, Travis.
Yeah, I do what I can do. Like we talked about before, I couldn't get anybody to go with me for years, and went solo, but I never got discouraged. Going solo is one of those things. But I always wanted somebody to be there to experience it with me because it was like so epic for me, and there was things like that I would come home and at the time, my dad didn't hunt. He'd go with me every once in a while, but he didn't hunt at the time. And I don't know what the thing was, but he just never got into waterfowling. And I'd be like, "Oh, that was awesome!" There was all these birds, but it's hard to describe to somebody what you're seeing. It's better when they're there and they can experience it for themselves. And if somebody hasn't duck hunted before and they're listening to this, and you get the opportunity to go with somebody, take advantage of it. And you're not only going to have fun duck hunting, but just being out there in the marsh and seeing, God's creation and everything that you can see out there it's just a cool place.
Yeah, we're blessed.
Yeah,
just seeing that is just like you said with God's creation. It's like you're so blessed. Sometimes you get so caught up in the fast things of life and your job and stressed out. You go out there, you're like, you know what? Why am I getting like that? We're blessed to be alive, be saved.
Yeah, get the opportunity to see, like I said, God's creation and the beauty of it, and and it's just let you step back from the rush of life and just kind of relax, take your mind off of it and enjoy the moment.
Yep. Well said. Guys, thank you so much for listening in. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let us know in the reviews if you enjoy these hunt reviews. We're going to try to keep them going all through this duck season. Hope you guys have a good opener whenever yours is, or had a good one, and hope your duck season is awesome. Epic and blessed. We'll see you on the next one.